Hello everyone, today I will recap you a movie titled Five Nights at Freddy's 2023, so make some tea and we'll start. At the beginning we see a man who works as a security guard. He climbs into the ventilation pipe, along which he crawls into the pantry, and now the guard is caught. When he regains consciousness, he is chained to a chair, and a frightening mechanism in the shape of a bear's head moves towards his head. The main character of the film is Mike. He works as a security guard at a shopping mall, and is also fond of the book Dream Theory. During his lunch break, he notices a little boy who is suddenly grabbed by a man and taken away by him. Fearing for the child, Mike catches up with the man and rushes with him into the fountain, where he mercilessly beats him. He is looking for a job, but due to the fact that the guy does not stay anywhere for a long time and he is fired almost immediately, it is not so easy to find him a new job. The employment consultant, whose name is Steve, gives Mike another chance and offers him a job that is very low paid, but it's better than nothing. But Mike refuses this offer because he can't work the night shift. When a guy comes home, he finds a notice of delinquency on his door. A nanny is waiting at home who looks after his younger sister. His sister Abby is fond of drawing and also likes to communicate with imaginary friends. Every night Mike tries to dive into the past in a dream. There the guy is 12 years old and his parents asked him to look after his younger brother. But in front of little Mike, he was kidnapped and taken away by car. The identity of the criminal and whether his brother is still alive is unknown. The next day, Mike's aunt wants to take Abby into her custody and threatens the guy with a court if he does not voluntarily sign the papers. During a personal conversation, the psychologist tells the guy that Abby loves him more than anyone in the world and that he must fight for her guardianship. And in order for everything to go well at the trial, she recommends Mike to get a job. After analyzing the complexity of the situation, the guy calls Steve and agrees to get a job offered. In the evening, Mike comes to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, closed in the 80s. Now he works here as a security guard. His task is not to let anyone in and to keep order. Despite the fact that the pizzeria is abandoned, the owner takes great care of it and does not give permission for demolition. At his new workplace, he discovers a videotape with his name on it, turns it on, looks at the instructions. After that, the guy decides to inspect the entire building and discovers a scene where animatronics are located behind the curtain, which are a feature of the institution. After a while, the guy falls asleep on duty. Immersed in a dream about the abduction of his brother, he notices 5 small children. When a guy asks them what's going on, they start running in different directions, and then he runs after one of them and falls both in a dream and in reality. Returning home, Mike apologizes to Max for not being able to pay her yet, to which she tells him that everything is fine, but in fact, together with her brother, she leaks all information about their living conditions to his aunt. After learning that there is no evidence of improper childcare at home, she sends Max, her brother, and their friends to break into the pizzeria and destroy everything there so that Mike will be fired later. The woman will pay them $1,000 for the work done. Meanwhile, Mike goes on his second night shift. Falling asleep again, this time he runs after another boy. Having caught up with him, the boy turns around and wounds Mike in the shoulder with a sharp hook. When Mike woke up, he was wounded and awake, as if this pizzeria was on Elm Street. After hearing the doorbell ring, the guy on the camera sees that a police car has arrived, so Mike meets Officer Vanessa. She treats the guy's wounds and tells him that the guards change here like gloves because this place puts a lot of pressure on them. The establishment was closed when 5 children disappeared, whose bodies were never found, and the main suspicion fell on the pizzeria. Then she brings Mike to the main hall, where the girls celebrated her birthdays as a child. There she includes a performance by Freddy the Bear and his friends, enjoying their music. But Mike wasn't having fun. He was in an anxious state because of everything that was happening. As soon as the guys go home in the morning, bandits break into the pizzeria, and Max is waiting for them in the car. They arrange a route in the building. They break everything, smash it, not forgetting to steal something valuable. One of them notices a mechanical cupcake, but turns around and sees Chica with the same cupcake in his hands. They mercilessly kill the guy. One of his comrades sees all this and tries to hide, but another animatronic finds him and kills him. The third attacker is hiding in the observation room. Through the screen, he sees 2 animatronics who launch a cupcake into the ventilation. The man, having managed to react in time, escapes from the attempt of the cupcake on his life. Then he goes out into the corridor, where there is a door with an exit, but it is locked, and at that moment, he is killed. Max goes to the pizzeria without waiting for his friends. There she sees a little boy calling her to follow him. He takes her to a warehouse where spare parts from toys are stored. Freddy is standing in the middle of the room, and children's sounds are coming from him. When she gets closer to get a better look at him, he bites off half of her body. Meanwhile, Abby accidentally finds a document that says about the transfer of custody. She starts arguing with her brother, talking about how she hates her aunt, and at this time, Vanessa knocks on the door. She says that someone managed to break into the pizzeria, and also gives Mike pills that he forgot at his workplace. When they come to the river, he says that these pills are sleeping pills that help him fall asleep and plunge into the same dream every time to deal with the abduction of his younger brother. Due to the loss of Max, Mike is forced to take Abby with him on the third night. He asks his sister not to leave the room under any circumstances, puts her to bed, and goes to clean up the place. After cleaning, the guy goes to bed and his sister, hearing that someone is calling her, goes to the main hall. She tries to find out who is here besides her and her brother, and at that moment, Freddy's eyes light up. In his dream, Mike sees a little boy who is drawing in the sand. He understands that these are the same children who disappeared in the 80s. Mike asks him to help find out who the killer is. The boy in response also asks him for a favor, to which the guy says that he can take anything he wants in return, after which the child disappears and the rabbit drawing will remain on the sand. Instantly, a scream is heard. Mike wakes up to find Abby missing. He finds her in the main hall where she is having fun with animatronics. The guy is going to attack them, but his sister stops him and says that they are her new friends. She introduces him to everyone: Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy, and Chica. After saying goodbye to her new friends, she leaves them a drawing as a keepsake and hugs Freddy. In the morning, Mike looks at Abby's drawings and notices that all the sheets depict missing children. After talking to her, he learns that these children are ghosts and they are the ones who control the animatronics. But there is one drawing that shocked Mike the most. It shows a car taking away his younger brother, Garrett. When he asks how she knows about it, because she wasn't born yet, she says that her new friends told her all this, and then he asks her to ask them about all this in more detail. On the fourth day of duty, he and Abby come together again, and inside the institution, they find Vanessa there, who, as it turned out, knows this place like the back of her hand and who knows about the missing children, but had not told Mike about it before. Abby wants to build a big fortress. Everyone supported her and started building it out of tables. After taking everything he needs from the pantry, Mike discovers another mechanical doll, but it does not work. When he wants to touch it, Vanessa stops him and demonstrates why it should not be touched. Returning to everyone, they notice Bonnie's electric guitar, which shocks Abby. Fortunately, the girl was not badly injured, but Vanessa insists that they go home as the child needs rest. He also threatens Mike to never bring his sister here again. When Mike wakes up, he tells Abby to come downstairs urgently. There, the girl discovers her aunt. Because of the feeling that she has been betrayed, she runs away to her room and closes herself, and then crosses out her brother from all her drawings. Mike leaves on his fifth night on duty. As usual, he falls asleep and sees the missing children again. But Garrett has not been abducted, and he is sitting at the same table with his parents. Then the blonde boy promises that the past will change and no one will kidnap his younger brother if he agrees to give them Abby. Before he has time to think about it, Mike accidentally agrees, but soon realizes that it was wrong, begins to refuse, but it's too late. When the guard wakes up, he is already chained to a chair and a cutting mechanism in the shape of a bear's head moves towards his head. Fortunately, the guy manages to get out of the trap and he runs to the exit, replacing the corpses of bandits and Max's babysitter along the way. Unsurprisingly, the exit door is closed, but he manages to open it at the last moment. The woman was never able to talk to her niece. She sits down in a chair to watch TV, but Freddy is already standing behind her. The boy calls Abby to come with him, but when she notices her aunt's body, he convinces her that the woman is just sleeping. Freddy even called a taxi to get them to the pizzeria faster. Mike regains consciousness at the police station. While Vanessa is treating him, she tells him that not only the souls, but also the bodies of the missing children are hidden inside the animatronics. Because of this, they still cannot be found. She also admits that the maniac is a yellow rabbit and that he is not just very smart, he is also her father, which is why she knows everything so well. She gives him a stun gun, saying that it won't kill them but it will disable them for a while, which will help the guy buy some time. But she refuses to go with him because she is afraid of her father. While Abby is watching the show, Mike sneaks into the building through the ventilation to remain unnoticed, but at some point, Chica takes the girl away, and the guy pours buckets of water on the stage and passes a current through it, thanks to which Freddy and Bonnie are disconnected. Chica, taking the girl to the pantry, grabs her and tries to put her inside the doll, but the girl is very scared, and just in time, her older brother shows up and saves her. When they start running towards the exit, they are attacked by a mechanical cupcake. He grabs Mike's leg, so he tells Abby to run away, but Foxy is already starting to hunt her. The girl hides, and at this moment, Vanessa appears, who saves her. Mike also manages to escape from Cupcake's teeth. When he goes in search of his sister, the same yellow rabbit comes out to meet him. The guy tries to shock him, but it doesn't work on him. Inside this rabbit is the same maniac who kidnapped and killed children. He also kidnapped and killed Mike's younger brother. The rabbit attacks the guy, which causes him to lose consciousness. At this time, the killer restarts the animatronics and orders them to kill the guy. But at this time, Vanessa comes to the defense. Rabbit takes off his mask, and Steve turns out to be there, the one who offered Mike a job. Vanessa dares and shoots her father, but the bullet hits the suit, and then the father, disappointed in his daughter, begins to strangle her. Mike regains consciousness and guesses how to lure the animatronics to his side. He orders Abby to draw another drawing that will show the children what the yellow rabbit really did to them. As soon as she tries to change the drawing, Steve starts to approach her to stop her, but Vanessa stands up for the girl, which is why she gets stabbed in the stomach with a knife. As soon as Abby changes the drawing, Mike directs a spotlight on him so that the children will pay attention and change their minds about the lying friend. They immediately remember everything that really happened to them, then surround the killer, and the cupcake attacks him, which triggers the mechanism of the suit and begins to tear Steve's insides, biting into his body. At this point, he puts on the rabbit's head and says he always comes back. The building begins to collapse, and the guys run away from it. Turning around, notice how the children put a rabbit on a hook and drag it somewhere. At the end of the film, we are shown that Abby has become more sociable, and she has made friends, which Mike is very happy and proud of his sister. After returning home, they decide to visit Vanessa in the hospital, where she is in a coma, but Mike thanks her for her help anyway. At home for dinner, Abby says that she is worried about her friends from the pizzeria and suggests that her brother visit them sometime. Mike was a little tense because of his sister's proposal, but then calmed down and said that everything could be. Meanwhile, in a pizzeria, a blonde boy watches a yellow rabbit die. Not wanting to lend a helping hand to his killer, he closes the door. The end.